All right. Welcome, everyone. Melissa D here from Body Joy Intimacy School. And it's day 3 of November. And a lot of folks that are coming to my studio are celebrating what's called No Nut November. And so let's make sure my dog doesn't rush in here. We'll see. So, No Nut November, what is it? What happens to be going on? So, I was looking online. There was a meme that I saw too on Instagram that said instead of No Nut November, it's nonstop nut November. So kind of making fun of it. But so let's go and check what this is all about. So it's trending right now. The image that I'm looking at is a guy kind of looking off into space and a woman going and looking really annoyed. That's interesting. And it says, what is No Nut November for 2022? Okay, so it says No Nut November, which means the official start date is November, and that's when you don't shave or you don't touch yourself for an entire month. Interesting. So let's look at the rules. Yeah, No Nut November is an annual challenge where men are encouraged to spend 30 days without touching themselves, or otherwise known as busting a nut, hence the name of the trend. The internet craze asks men to abstain from self pleasure as well as sex for a whole month of November. Interesting. The annual event is believed to have started on Reddit in 2011, but wasn't until 2017 that it gained in popularity. So here are the rules. It's interesting that, let me find my camera again. Whoop. It's what I find really interesting about this. So I find it interesting that they're kind of grouping everything together, like, no touching yourself, no self pleasure, no busting a nut. And I'm wondering, just as a sex educator, as a somatic sex educator, I wonder why not bring in self pleasure and just focus on not ejaculating if that's the goal. So that's my first just curiosity. I work with a lot of men who are trying to last longer in bed and really deepen their capacity to feel more pleasure and like hold it in their body so that they can ride the waves of pleasure with their heterosexual couple. So with another woman. Now, most women, especially with practice, have like an endless supply of orgasmic energy. But men, on the other hand, if they don't know how to separate orgasm from ejaculation, they can, bust a nut one time and kind of be done for a while or have a refractory period of like 15 minutes to an hour, whatever it takes. And then they can go again. And so a lot of the things that I teach my male students to do or help them with is how to separate orgasm from ejaculation and how to really be in heightened states of arousal so that they can save their ejaculate and keep their energy and still match their partner. So I get really curious when trends like this come up and there's a big community like the NoFap, where they try to, instead of working with the sexual energy, they just cut it off completely and just abstain for like 30 days, which for most people can be really, really difficult. Now, not to say that I'm against this, I'm not against it, but I'm just curious on if that's going to be your approach to, lasting longer, to, hold your ejaculate and have more control of it. Now, some of the male teachers that I work with the Apollo Project, they were suggesting that it is actually really healthy to take a break and maybe not touch yourself erotically and not ejaculate and just kind of hold off in order to kind of fast, from your normal go-tos. Like if you're someone that's used to like jerking off every day, or maybe it's 4 or 5 times a week or whatever it is, and you're kind of bored when it comes to like sex, or like you're ejaculating way sooner, and so that you want to like interrupt those patterns and teach your body how to do new things, then maybe abstaining from touch and or pleasure could be really beneficial for you. So it's something that you're going to have to really take a look at. But if you're someone that is having a difficult time, like most men, going like fasting completely from like self touch and connection, and maybe you're married, maybe you have a partner. So I'm wondering maybe there's another way to still reap the benefits of like taking kind of a break, but not disconnecting from your erotic energy completely. And so you're going to have to call the shots on that. So I don't want to be the kind of educator that's like, no, don't do it at all. It doesn't have any, benefit at all. Fasting from erotic energy can be really great. And there's this other loophole, not loophole, but there's this other way that you can still reap a lot of benefits. And so that is instead of just jumping to ejaculation, or rushing through intimacy trying to get to that goal, or jerking off really fast before you go to work, or maybe on your lunch break, or before dinner, whatever the time is for you, that you really slow everything down and practice what's it like to really be in your erotic body and feel the waves of pleasure without the goal of ejaculation. So, just something to think about. Now, if you're new to this concept and you're not really sure how to do it, I've got free audios. Maybe I'll put the link down below this video, actually, a free audio for male bodies, and I'll put one down there for the female bodies too. But it's a meditation that you can put in your earbuds and just listen to. I think it's about 15 minutes, so it's not even very much time, but it's guiding you on how to maybe start to work with your erotic energy without the goal of ejaculation. So teaching you how to, how many of you out there when you are, in your erotic energy, or you're jerking off or self-pleasuring, or you're with your partner, how many of you really focus on your breath, the quality of your breath? And how many of you are actually relaxed in your erotic energy? And this doesn't mean that it doesn't have any fire and doesn't have any like juice. I mean, just like really feeling calm and confident in your strokes and in your pleasure. And how many of you actually like touch your body and include your entire body, not just your genitals? So, those are some things to think about. So, I just had a student in the studio today that was working on the No Nut November thing. And the reason why he was doing it, he was like, I really need to, stop watching porn. I really need to like reset my system. And I think that is awesome. But, and this is the but, is that if you're just cutting it off, the chances of you getting back into it in December and having things change, there's probably going to be some things that you notice. But maybe have a plan. Like, how can you be in your erotic energy differently than you've always done? And how can you really work with your body being able to hold that pleasure a lot longer, besides like just cutting off completely? How there's got to be a happy medium. So if you're wondering how to do this is kind of my forte. This is like, I'm your secret weapon. So get in touch. I'm going to put the free audio down below for you to give it a shot. Now, if you're actually committing to No Nut November, keep going and see how it goes. Then maybe in December you can include some erotic touch and just remove the need to ejaculate or the goal to ejaculate and start working with that. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on No Nut November.